Hello students, welcome to mathematics class. Students, this is part 5 of the chapter number system. In this part 5, we will learn a new type of numbers called irrational numbers. Now, see children, here there is a famous Greek mathematician called Pythagoras. Here, this Pythagoras, who was around 400 BC, formed a separate group of followers for him, maybe his disciples or his students, called Pythagoreans. They were the first to discover the numbers which were not rational numbers, So, the numbers which were not rational numbers were given name of irrational numbers. Irrational numbers nothing but numbers which are not rationals. These numbers were called irrational numbers, or in simple terms irrationals, because they cannot be written in the form of ratio of integers. In the form of ratio of integers, we cannot write them. So, that is why they are called irrationals. There are many myths surrounding the discovery of irrational numbers by these Pythagoreans. Hipparchus of Croton. What is this myth? In all the myths, Hipparchus has an unfortunate end, either for discovering that root 2 is irrational, or for disclosing the secret about root 2 to people outside the sect of Pythagorean. So, the secret outside of this Pythagorean sect, if it is revealed, so they have killed this Hipparchus. That is what the myth is. Okay. Now, we will move on to the definition of irrational numbers. The definition of irrational numbers, children, pause the screen and note down this definition, very important definition. So, a number S is called irrational. Here this numbers it has become. So, it is singular. So, let me, sorry, I got a call. Anyway, irrational numbers, if you want to define, a number S is called irrational if it is not possible to write in the form of P by Q. So, a number S is called irrational if it cannot be written in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. That means Q is non-zero rational, non-zero integer. So, if I cannot write a number in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0, means a number cannot be written in rational form, then it becomes irrational. A number which is not rational is called irrational. This is the definition. So, you already know that there are infinitely many rationals on the number line, isn't it? So, between two rationals you found infinitely many rational numbers. Now, it turns out that there are infinitely many irrational numbers too. For example, now you got a, let us say, a number 1 and 2. Between 1 and 2 you found 3 by 2, and further you found 5 by 4 and so on, right? Now, there is an irrational number which I can say 1.414 and so on. It is not repeating, just 3, 2 and something, which is the value of root 2. You know, root 2 is 1.414 and something, which we cannot say, neither ending nor terminating. This is what I explained you in your class 8th. So, a number whose decimal form neither ending nor terminating, neither ending nor repeating, such number, it is exist in between 1 and 2. So, this is irrational number. This is an example of irrational number. So, this exists in between 1 and 2 means such so many I can find. One more is root 3. Even root 3 is also lies between 1 and 2, which is 1.732 and so on. So, I can say how rationals are infinitely many, similarly irrationals are also infinitely many, exist on the number line. Okay. So, examples for irrationals I have given you here. Root 2 is an irrational number. You know how to find the value of root 2 using square root, squares and square roots chapter of your class 8 you found already. Okay. So, root 3 is irrational, root 15 is irrational, pi, which is the ratio between circumference of a circle to its diameter, this is also irrational number, and this sort of irrational numbers we can write. So, coming down to these irrationals, now we are going to learn a new type of numbers called real numbers. Okay. Now, let me get you to that topic. The Pythagoreans proved that root 2 is irrationals. Okay. Pythagoreans proved that root 2 is an irrational number. Okay. Later, approximately 425 BC, Theodorus of Cyrene showed that root 3, root 5, root 6, root 7 and so on are all irrationals. He proved that. Okay. So, 400 BC root 2 was proved as irrational and found by the Pythagoreans and revealed to the outside sect of the Pythagoreans, and 425 BC this Theodorus has proved root 3, root 5, root 6 and remaining such numbers as irrationals, he proved. Then coming down to this next, as to pi was proved to be irrational by Lambert and Legendre only in the late 1700s AD. This famous mathematician John Henry Lambert, who lived from 1728 to 1777 AD, he proved, this Swiss mathematician and physicist, philosopher and astronomer, he is best known for proving the irrationality of pi. Okay. So, he is somewhere in 1700s only he proved, in 17th century only he proved pi value as irrational number. Till then it was considered somewhere like maybe rational, but actually they proved that it is irrational. Okay. Now, coming down to the, let us consider a bag of rational numbers. You are taking a bag of rational numbers. If we put all irrational numbers into that bag only, will there be any number left on the number line? So, on the number line, all rationals you have shown. Now, you are putting all the irrationals from the number line into this bag. Now, the answer is no. That number line completely shows each and every point of it, one or the other line of this bag. Okay. One or the other number of this bag correspond to a point on that number line. Okay, children. Now, I am bringing to the word real numbers. Children, the collection of all rational numbers and irrational numbers put together make up the collection of real numbers, which we denote by the letter R. So this bag is a sack of real numbers. Okay. Therefore, a real number is either a rational number or irrational number. Okay. If I call a number is a real number, then it is either rational number or it is an irrational number. So every real number is represented by a unique point on the number line. This is why we call the number line as the real number line. Number lines that we were drawing, they were called real number line. Also, very important point, every point on the number line represents a unique real number, and every real number represented by a unique point on the number line is done by famous mathematicians Dedekind and Cantor. These two German mathematicians showed that corresponding to every important point, try to note down, corresponding to every real number there is a point on the number line, on the real number line, and corresponding to every point on the number line there exists a unique real number. So for every point on number line there is a real number, for every real number in the sack there will be one point exist on the number line. That's the matter. Okay. Now with this, let us see how we can locate some of the irrational numbers on the number line. Okay. Here I am taking example number 3, locate root 2 on the number line. How to locate root 2 on the number line? Here to this I will give you a brief small Pythagoras theorem usage. Okay. It is easy to see how Greeks might have discovered root 2. Consider a square OABC. Here is the square OABC, where each side is of 1 unit in length as shown in figure. That means its diagonal will be of root 2 units. That means OB length becomes the root 2. Now this figure I am taking it by Pythagoras theorem, it comes, you know that this figure I am going to take it on a number line. How do we represent root 2 on the number line? Transfer figure this 1.6 on the number line. If I transfer, that is, if I consider OA is of 1 unit, okay, and if I construct a perpendicular, here with the same measure of 1 unit, this perpendicular when it is joined gives OB length. That OB length with the help of compass, if I transpose to the number line, it cuts at a point called P, and that P represents root 12. This procedure I am explaining now. Physically I will do it and show you in our next class. Okay. So we have just seen OB being root 2 unit length, and using a compass with the center O and radius OB, we will draw an arc intersecting the number line at the point P, where that point P corresponds to the value root 2 on the number line. Similarly, if you want to locate root 3 on the number line, same figure 1.7 is considered first. Why? Because here root 2 is the length of OB. There we will construct a perpendicular to this OB with the unit length, That means now I have a triangle OBD where its one of the base is root 2, another base is 1, therefore its hypotenuse is the sum of root 2 square plus 1 square under root will be the OD length. Therefore, OD is root 2 square is 2, 2 plus 1 square is 1. So, it becomes OD root 3. Now, with the measure of OD as the radius and O as the center, with the help of compass, if I intersect number line, it intersects at Q. So, this Q represents root 3. Okay. So, let me give you brief information with the working steps. Here, construct BD of unit length perpendicular to OB, that is what I explained you. Then using Pythagoras theorem, we see that OD is the root 3. Then using a compass with center O and radius OD, draw an arc with which intersects the number line at the point Q. This point Q corresponds to the value root 3. In this same way, we can locate root n for any positive integer n only after locating root n minus 1. After has been located, then only root n can be represented. If I want to represent root 3, I must represent first root 2. If I want to represent 2, this first be taken. Okay. So, for the root 4 is this 2 only, na? Now, if I want to represent root 5, then I will take this perpendicular here exactly at 1 unit measure I will do. Okay, let me first take out this. Okay, here at 2 I will construct perpendicular of 1 unit. This O, let us say here B, not B, it is M, OME. OME is a triangle where OM length is 2 units, ME is perpendicular to OM of 1 unit. That means this OE is square root of 2 square plus 1, that means it becomes root 5. So, OE correspond to that. If I take on number line, definitely root 5 is represented on a number line. So, this is continued, this procedure is continued. Okay. Children, with this I have completed how to locate irrational numbers such as root 2, root 3, root 5 on a number line. Physically, I will show you in our next class how to do it with the help of compass and ruler, drawing them. Okay. Now, today we will solve one question of exercise 1.2 which are just true or false type. Okay. Let us get into that. Exercise 1.2 contains 3 sub questions where statements are given. You need to say there are true or false and justify your answer. First question is, every irrational number is a real number. What do you say? Every irrational number is a real number or not? True. It is true. If I say some number is a real, then it is either rational or irrational. But if I say a number is irrational, then it must be real. Okay. So, because real number contains both rationals and irrationals, and there is no special letter to represent irrationals. In fact, we have special symbol to represent real numbers. With R we will represent rationals with Q, irrationals generally called as R minus Q. What do you mean by R minus Q? Take away from all real numbers, take away from the real numbers all the irrationals. leftover numbers are irrationals. This way they represent. There is no special letter symbol. This is a logically we show it. Now, second statement in the exercise 1 first question, every point on the number line is of the form root m. Every number is of the root m. This is false. Why I can say, suppose I have got a number, let's say 0.1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 5, 0, 0, 3, like this. Tell me what is the root value or in the form of root m for this number? We cannot say. Okay. Every rational number of the form root m can be written like this, but reverse we cannot do. Okay. That's why these sort of numbers which cannot be irrational numbers, which cannot be written in the form of root m, such transcendental irrational numbers, we call them as transcendental irrationals. So, irrational numbers which cannot be written in the form of root m, we call them transcendental irrational numbers. So, every number he says that we can write in this form is wrong. Okay. Next, every real number is an irrational number. See, every real number is irrational if I say that there is no rational at all. Okay. You know that 2 by 3 belongs to rational number set and 2 by 3 belongs to real number set. If I say every number of real numbers is irrational only, this 2 by 3 cannot be there in the real number set, isn't it? So, it is a false statement. False. 2, why? Because 2 by 3 exists in real numbers, 2 by 3 does not belongs to irrationals. This is a logical way of calling irrationals. You can say 2 by 3 is not an irrational number. Okay. So, this is how we show. Children, with this first question of exercise 1.2 I will stop. In our next class, I will show you how to represent or how to locate root 2, root 3 physically on number line. Then I will go for continuing solving exercise questions of 1.2. Till then, take care of yourself. Jai Hind. Thank you.